G'day all, Rob here. How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to check out one of the new cars we got in the update the other day. This is the, I'm going to balls up this name. It's the RUF. I know it's a German company. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. I'm Australian. I'm useless at doing different stuff like that. But this is the RGT 4.2 2016 edition, based off the 991 generation Porsche 911 GT3 RS, which is actually going to be doing some laps on the track with us so we can compare the two together. Been a fan of this company's cars for many, many years. Ever since I first saw the Yellowbird decades ago, they've made some really cool cars. I'm a massive fan of Porsche cars. They're just absolutely brilliant. Love driving them. In-game, obviously, don't have the funding to do that sort of thing in the real world. This is where we pretend to do it. So I've got my steering wheel set up. We're going to do a couple of laps. I've done a few laps on some other tracks with the controller. This will be the first time using the steering wheel. I apologize for what you're about to watch. All right, so let's do this. Couple of laps around this track against the GT3 RS that it's based off of. Not a bad launch. I'm using my steering wheel set up today. So my laps is not going to be the greatest because I'm still getting used to that. I'm still on average anyway 2 to 3 seconds slower than I am with the controller, but it is a lot more fun with the wheel. But it's a lot harder too. This car's got some pretty good acceleration. For a car that's got, what, 520 or so horsepower, it's putting it down quite well. Braking's not that bad. That wasn't the greatest effort. My driving, I'm still learning. I've only been playing this game for about 2 months. I am not an expert. So unlike the GT3 up ahead, RUF, we're going to call them that, I can't pronounce it properly, did a bit of work. They stripped the car back to the chassis, put in stiffer suspension, got an interior roll cage as well, but unlike Porsche, they've actually gone to great lengths to hide it behind the trimming, which is a pretty cool feature, because to drive it around on the road, having a roll cage, you look like a bit of a twat, let's be honest, but hiding it, it's a bit better. Got a little bit more power in the car now over the GT3, thanks to a new Bosch management electronic system, a new custom exhaust. So I think it's about 520 horsepower. The car's about 20 or so kilograms lighter. Better suspension, brake upgrades. When that GT3 is not exactly a slow car, especially around a track, so to improve on it is quite an achievement. Naturally aspirated flat six, very distinctive Porsche sound, despite having a different exhaust system. Most proper drivers would have caught the GT3 by now, but I'm taking my time because I'm not that good. Still getting used to this game, still getting used to the physics. I played Forza Motorsport for many, many years, so I haven't played a GT game since Gran Turismo 5, so I'm slowly getting back into it. Hard on the brakes. I don't want to go up the back of the Porsche. As they run a bit wide, even the computer gets a bit flustered under brakes. Can we out-drag them? We've got more power and we're lighter. We should do. We have. I'm going to stuff up my brakes here. It's a little bit late. Not too bad. This corner is the hardest corner for me on this track. It's really deceiving. You don't realize it's as tight as it is until you actually get there. I've gone off there too many times. Yeah, as you can see, still learning. The physics is completely different from Forza Motorsport. I've got to say though, despite the fact that I'm still learning it, it is the racing and the driving experiences. It is better on Gran Turismo. I'll admit that. So what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to have a look at the car in VR because I've never actually seen one of these in real life. And then we're going to take them to a test track I've picked out. I'm going to start testing all the cars. So I'm going to run these two against each other around there. I'm going to give them 10 flying laps each and see which one is the better car to drive. They're basically the same thing. Obviously this one's got a few upgrades. As we come on to the final lap, we've actually developed a little bit of a gap. So we're going to throw them around there and see which one's better to drive. I assume this car's going to be quicker against the Porsche, but we'll find out. And then eventually we're going to start testing all the other cars while I hopefully get better at the game, and then eventually once I'm a bit better and I get a bit more comfortable, I'm going to start doing some online races I haven't done any online racing at the moment. Most people online generally shit me. But yeah, we'll try it out. The only way to improve is to put yourself up against the better drivers. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm going to be definitely a mid-pack at best. I can only try and get better, though. Got pretty good grip, this car in the rear end. It's got regular... I thought I'd turn that off, but thank you. Yeah, I haven't recorded... I'm not recording in VR because... Yeah, it just looks horrible on the video. It shakes around too much, and I don't think you folk would want to be watching that. I know a lot of you, if anyone's still watching, will be shaking their head. My braking lines... Still learning. It's a pretty decent victory, a few seconds. That car's pretty good though. That back end is massive with that wide body though. They have done a really good job of it. So let's go check it out in VR and then we'll do some testing and see which one's better. Alright, now that we're in the virtual showroom, let's have a look at this a little bit closer, shall we? I love the fact that you can squat right down. I'm 6'5", so I have to lie down to this, so hopefully the visuals aren't too shaky, but the fact that you can zoom right in and actually read the numbering on on the actual tyre is incredible. You can see all the detail on the rotor and the calipers. Absolutely amazing. You can drop down and actually just... The scale, it feels like it's a real size car. But you can actually see the curves and the lines of the car and really appreciate it. The new front grille, this carbon splitter. The VR, it just enhances the game so much. I mean, you can zoom right in. You can't get too close because you kind of go into the car and you see this magical black and green box. But the detail, even down to the little globes, it is absolutely phenomenal what they can do. So let's go up towards the back. Look at those beautiful deep dish wheels. They look absolutely fantastic. Those Michelin Cup tyres. Even in the back here, you can see right through the amount of detail. You can see right through there. The exhaust system's starting to go through there. Hang on, wrong button. There we go. I'm feeling very small back down here. Let's stand up a bit. I wish they'd do some upgrades. I wish we could actually pop the one thing I like about Forza Motorsport is in Horizon series, you got the Forza Vista mode where you can open the car up. It'd be nice if we can actually pop the boot here and have a look at the engine. So we try not to get distracted looking around the scenery too much. So let's jump inside the car because I am never going to get to see one of these in the real world. And God damn, this is really squishy. I'm going to try and do this without it shaking around too much. It is a complete overhaul, carbon fibre everywhere. They've stripped out the seats. The amount of the bloody detail. This is from someone who grew up playing Nintendo and Atari. It is amazing what we can do now in gaming. But this does have the roll cage just like the Porsche, but it is hidden behind the trimming and the struts here. I'm going to try and go around so you can see. That is a really crammed back space there, but there's a roll cage there, but it's all hidden. You can see the cross strut brace there as well for a bit of added stability. God damn, this is amazing. The first time I put this on, I know it's not real, but your instinct is your hands go out to go and grab stuff like the shifter and the buttons. It is amazing. This is the future of gaming, but sadly, I believe Sony have stopped developing it, which is bloody disappointing because it is. Every time I get in a new car, straight away I come into the VR showroom. Bloody brilliant. All right, let's go to the track. Okay, so we brought both cars here to the Cedegna track. That's circuit number Type C, I think it was. It's about a minute long. It's not a big track, but it's got some technical sections. It's got a long straight. Nice little spot to do some quick testing of the cars. Naturally, it's a GT3. They handle really well. I've been a massive fan of these cars for years. You know what you're going to get. It's basically a track car. Plenty of grip in the back end. It's nice and light, well balanced. You can put the power down to the road really well. This is completely stock standard. You're pretty much flat out through here, the chicanes here, and it's got tons of grip. I don't think I really had a big balls up. The braking is really good on this car. yeah, really stable. You can really push this thing to the limit and not really have much trouble with the back end stepping out. I was able to get really, really consistent laps, lap after lap, like all Porsches. They're a joy to drive. Next up, we've got the RUF RGT 4.2. Gave this car 10 flying laps around here to see how it did compare, and it is slightly better in every way. It actually feels quicker than when I looked at the times. This felt so much quicker. Spoiler alert, it's quicker than the Porsche, but we all knew that. I felt it around this track, even though it's not a really long circuit, I thought this one would be a lot quicker, but it was a little bit closer than I was expecting. You got quite a little bit more power, you got a little less weight. This one, I find on the limit, is a little bit harder to drive. The back end is a little bit, will step out a little bit more compared to the GT3. The GT3 you can drive on the limit a lot easier. This one is a little bit of throttle control, especially on this exit of this corner. I'm coming into pit straight. There's a little bit of camber. The back end does get out a little bit as I run a bit wide there. Just a little bit wide. May have breached the track limits, but overall, it is a fun car to drive. At the limit, I'd say the Porsche is easier to drive, but overall, this is a better experience. It is a really fast car, able to get good laps in. It sounds good. It looks great. All right, so we have a look here at my leaderboard. The RUF did a 56.9 and the Porsche did a 57, so it's pretty close. Driving them around, I thought the RUF was a I'm so used to saying just RUF. The RUF, I thought it was a lot quicker, but actually it was a little bit, when I actually checked the times afterwards, it was a little bit closer. I thought the RGT would be a good second or so faster. It felt quicker, despite the fact that the back end kicks out a little bit, but both really good fun cars to drive. The Porsche is easy to handle on the limit. The RGT needs a little bit more throttle balance, but both really good fun cars to drive. Overall, I think most people are going to go the RGT. However, if you look at it in terms of money spent at the brand central to buy these things, this car and screen costs over 100,000 credits more than the Porsche. So if you're looking at it that way, for 0.2 of a second around that track, at least with me behind the wheel, the Porsche overall is probably the better package, because the money you're going to save, you can throw in upgrades, but more than likely you're just going to buy both cars anyway. But it's a really welcome addition to the game. Hopefully we get more classic. I'd love to see some of the older Yellowbirds as well, some of the CTR2 from the 90s. Great cars over the years. Be definitely trying to do a tune on this and convert it into a race car. I think it's going to be a lot of good fun to drive. So until the next video, I hope you enjoyed. I'm Rob. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.